Okay, so today I'm going to teach you how to make an enchilada casserole. But first and foremost, we need something of this nature so that, oh, this one's hard to get up. There it is. There it is. Oh, and I actually wipe my fingers with it. Sanitize them and get ready for the job. So first and foremost, of course, we have to have the product, right? Okay, so we went and got us a pound of hamburger. And let's see what else we got. Oh, right. Okay, then we got a small pack of tortillas. Little tiny guys, little corn ones. They're so cool. And you can use these a few different ways in your casserole. And then, of course, I had to buy a dish just for this special fucking occasion because I didn't want something I had to throw away. I might want to use it again to show you something else. So we have one good sized white onion, green onions. We have a couple of jalapenos that we will be using at least one in the mix. Some serranos and some ghost pepper. Now, the serranos and ghost pepper are for holding a challenge from a friend of mine. He didn't actually challenge me, but pissed me off. He can eat a taco chip without even sweating or batting an eye. So I definitely want to screw his whole world up and pucker his butt with some real hot stuff. That's what that's for. So, and then I get a triple cheddar. Okay, it's just a mix of cheeses, a sharp, mild, Vermont, and a white. A couple of packs. Don't know that I'll use them both, but we have them. Then I have a can of refried beans and an enchilada sauce, green enchilada sauce actually, and diced green chilies. Oh, it's backwards. Cool. And a can of olives. And the olives, of course, are cheaper at whole price when they're whole. Then you don't get ones with pits in them. That's gross. Spend all day fucking screwing with olives. Anyways, you can still dice these down. Now, I've got the cutting board out. I've got products. Start cooking. Oh, let's get this way over here in the pan for now. There we go. So, to start with, I'm going to want to do up these little tortillas. So, get your pan. You're going to use it for a few things. But you're going to do your tortillas first, of course, because you want them out of your way. So, get you a couple of hand towels. Make you a nice little grease thing for the tortillas. You don't want them greasy when you're putting your enchilada thing together, because then, of course, it'll come out greasy and nasty. The cheese has enough grease in it, stuff like that. The hamburger we will be draining off. So I'll kick it on about medium high on an electric. Gas a little bit different. Couldn't tell you. So, our little tiny guys. I thought they were so cute. I was just going to get the regular size ones, but then I seen these and I'm like, oh, they're so cute. I need to get me some of those. So now I have some of them. So I think it'll take about 6 a layer. And I think I'll try to do about 3 layers today. So that saves me a few per layer. Maybe I'll make mini tacos or something. Okay, so pan's heating up a tiny bit. Put not a lot of oil, just a tiny little bit. It's brand new, so like all this stuff I bought just for this. But I'm having it for dinner tonight. I mean, if you want some, if you're watching, if you want some, you can always come over tonight about 7:30, and have some. Right now, we're just going to prep it for dinner. So a little bit of oil, not a lot, maybe a teaspoon, tablespoon at the most. You don't want a lot of oil. You just want the heat mainly. So you can cook these corn tortillas a little bit. So I put one test one in. I leave it in there until it starts sizzling, and then I'll know that my pan's ready. Okay. So those to the side. Let's start on a jalapeno. So I ran wash water also, because you can do your dishes as you go. So I usually just chop the top right off. I don't even sweat that puppy. Down the center, I leave the seeds in it. Down the center again, you have 4 pieces. From this, put them back together, and then dice them really small. Easier said than done. Remember, don't touch your eyeballs or anything. You're gonna find out that some jalapenos are hotter than hell. Otherwise, you can just eat them like they're nothing. But so we want these diced up very good. Hang on. Handle my knife a little wet. Don't want me slipping. Oh, hey, if you can't handle blood, don't watch anything from here on out, okay? Because it may, I may hurt myself. Doesn't mean the end of the video. Just means that maybe a timeout. And I don't want anybody to be grossed out by what I'm doing. So what I'm trying to do is dice the jalapeno small enough to where that it culminates throughout, not that it's, because this will be going inside. So once you've diced it up a little bit, kind of give you a preview, well, maybe not. Anyways, once you dice it about like that, you're pretty much ready. So, get a bowl to put all your mixed ingredients in, because you're not going to want to keep them just laying around. You still got to use the board for other stuff. Okay. So then we're going to do the onion, but we're really only going to do about half of it. I like to slice them long ways, top to bottom. Show you in a minute why. So, get that sucker out of my way. So we take the end off, both sides. Then you can take the top layer and literally peel it right off the onion. Super easy. Well, yeah, now that I say that, right? There we go. Get rid of your trash. Always try to keep your area a little clean. That was one thing when I was cooking that drove me nuts, is these new cooks don't know how to keep clean as they go. They want to make a big ass fucking mess and leave it for an old school cook who goes, what the fuck? And then everybody wonders why old school cooks get pissed. All right. So these are starting to cook. You can actually see the difference. So you can see through it. That means your corn's cooked off. Okay? So then while we're doing other stuff, you want to get a few in there and get them cooking. So with the onion, long ways, top to bottom. Top to bottom. See the vein? Okay. So if you just, give it about a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch cut. Doesn't have to be drastic. On the very end ones, you're going to want to slice those too, because they'll just come out as chunks. Then take and turn it sideways, like this, and give it another good chop. when you do that, actually when you go long ways, it will sliver. If you do it like, say, a traditional onion cut, then of course it will fall apart. So, I think that's probably way too much onion. But, you know, that's up to you guys too. I've been doing this so long, I just kind of know what I need, what I don't need. Okay. So we're only going to take about 2/3 of that. The rest of it we're going to save off. Because you never know when you need a little bit of diced onion. Woo, that one was strong. Ah, almost got me crying. Okay, now I'm going to wash my board out. Couple more in. You might have to put a little more oil in because these will absorb a little bit. On 3 of them in a pan, I just put a tiny spot in the middle. Put my fingers on all 3 and just kind of move them around a little bit. Okay? That'll get the oil dispersed throughout the pan. Okay, what are we doing next? Oh, we don't need to do those till later. Those are the toppings. So as soon as these tortillas are done, we will go ahead and cook off the beef, spice it, get it ready. So pretty much, I mean, you know what an onion tastes like, you know what a jalapeno tastes like, you really didn't got to taste them. So, put these little puppies. Pretty much, you don't really need tools. You need a good knife, good board, good pan. Of course, you don't want to burn shit up, you know. But yeah, you know, not a lot that you need there. So now we have a casserole dish. As we start getting these, I'm going to place them in here. 6 on the bottom. They're going to get hot, so you may want to use something more than your fingers. You can also just take the pan and turn it into rotating motion, and it'll move everything in that pan like you're fucking surfing on oil or some shit, you know? Okay, so we got 2 there. Now I need to open some stuff up. We have an enchilada sauce that will go inside with the beef. And fried beans. Green chilies. And then we have to dissect the black olives a little bit for the top. So that's the top item. I could put them inside, but I think I'd rather have them in the top. So get rid of those lids. Not gonna need them. Damn, that's good. Okay. Here's my olives. Don't forget your tortillas because they're gonna burn. Okay, they're nice if they're kind of a little brownish, like they're cooked, but oh my god, olives. Oh, I love them. So, and I don't know how long this is taking me. Could be 10 minutes, could be 15 or 20, I don't know, but we'll post the whole thing. At least the prep on this. All right. So there's our first layer. Actually, I don't think I like that. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Probably gonna need a few more tortillas. I guess we'll just use the whole pack. Woo! Oh, the puppies get hot quick. And of course, the most important ingredient. We're going to need garlic out, minced garlic. We're just going to cook all of them off. Whether I use them all or not, different story. So the pan's prepped and ready. We're going to want to do the refried beans, but prefer to just zap those real quick. So with your refries, if you're doing a casserole or anything like that, they're going to come out kind of pasty and unspreadable. So if you put them in a container, just a skosh of water. Not a lot, just a skosh. I'll put it in for a minute to start. You don't want to heat it all up super quick because you don't need it heated. Yeah, so I quit after 37 years of being a cook. I wouldn't call it being a chef, but as a cook, I finally decided to give it up and change careers, which I actually am enjoying. A little hard labor at 55, but what the heck. Anyways, I miss cooking. And on my day off, I wanted to be able to make something good for me and my roommate. And I decided that I'm going to do this enchilada casserole. And I've done this for a few years, so it's not like I'm new at it. So, I'm in the casserole. I've cooked it a few different times. Okay. A little bit of hot water in there will help thin it back a little so that it's not so chunky. Okay. Another time for about a minute. And if you don't want to use oil, that's cool. I mean, you can't really see the difference, but this is cooked. This is not. I like using a little bit of oil because when you put everything together and it sits for a while, they're gonna get a little mushy anyways, which is fine. They'll be fine, but I just prefer a little crispier. That's all. All right, that's almost done. One more set of tortillas. Get some olives done. All right, now you see we got some heat coming off that puppy after 2 minutes, minute at a time. Stirred up really good. And now you have workable product. Oh, man down. Ow! Dang that hot. Woo. Since I started my other profession, I found out my fingers are a little sensitive, and part of that's because of the alkali I'm using, the acidics and stuff that are making my fingers more tender. Okay, so we're on the last 3. Woo! Now remember to pan the hamburger. So one good thing to remember when you're cooking burger is if you break it up real quick, it typically won't cook into a giant chunk. So, I mean, literally you have to sit here and work it a little bit to do it. But okay, so at this point we're done with our cooking oil. We'll put it back on the shelf. I suggest a non-burn, non-melting spatula if you're going to use one. If you're using a wood or whatever, that's all good. I don't care. I know this is probably a long video, and I'm kind of sorry for that, but at the same point in time, if you don't go from point A to point B, you don't know what point C is going to be. So I could have prepped all this ahead of time, but I thought that it would be better if I didn't, so that you could see what I do, how I do it. I mean, I try to make it simple. It's not so hard, and just think about it. You can create almost anything you want. All right. So now the burger meat's a little over half cooked. I want to kind of get all the pinkness out of it. You don't want to cook it to shit because then you won't have tender meat. It'll be just kind of like little chunks in your food, kind of gross. But so this is a lost art. I've worked in restaurants where people don't even know what the fuck a Benny is. And I'm like, what? Like, Benny and the Jets, Benny. Anyways. Okay, so once the red is out of the meat, and you know that it's cooked, add in your whole can of green chilies. Add in your whole can of enchilada sauce. And the reason I didn't put these in early is because I don't want them to burn. I don't want them to cook by themselves. I want them to culminate in with everything. So probably about that much, probably a teaspoon of garlic, minced garlic. And then remember the onions, jalapenos we cut? That's all going in. Okay. What, baby? Mix it up a little bit. All right, so I don't suggest this for everybody, but I season my stuff at home a little bit, in the restaurant I never did. A lot of old people don't like too much salts or anything like that. So, and of course, you know, throw away my soup because it had no taste. Bitch, put some salt on it. Flavor will come right out. Anyways, so we will give it a little bit of pepper, just a sprinkle, not a lot. In here, I have sea salt, a little bit better than the iodized, but it takes a little more, so I just use a little because you don't need any more than that. You have it at your table if you need it. So, get this under a simmer. Now, as in with work and everything, I had multiple spoons because when I taste something, I'd throw the spoon off to the side. It was now dirty. I'm at home. I'm not going to be re-dipping. But so you know, I mean, it's food for me and my roommate, but that's the way I was taught, is to taste everything in the kitchen at least once, you know, make sure it's up to par, and get a new spoon each time you do it because you don't want to cross-contaminate or, you know, culminate stuff before it's time. I'm thinking that's pretty good. Okay. I'm not going to worry about coming up the sides of the pan. I just want to layer it back. Get you whatever kind of slotted spoon you got. Okay, so after that cooked off a little bit, we're going to take some without juice and throw at the bottom. Okay, that should be enough for one lining. Turn that off. So, and just lightly spread it around. You don't have to get tons of it everywhere. It just needs to kind of cover the area on that first layer. All right. Now with that covered, we will put in some refried beans. And that you can just glop in, a little bit here, a little bit there. It doesn't need to be spread so thick or anything. I just made it thin so that you could do this. So I just put a little glop, you know, here and there. And then we're on to the next set. So when you put these next ones down, you want to do an 8 stack. I said 6, but from the looks of it and everything, 8 is our number. So make sure that's, whoa, that's hot. Dang. Okay. So we have our 8 down. And that was just the bottom. Okay, so don't get crazy with me on comments. Open the cheese. So the reason I didn't on the first level do cheese is because I've got enough to do a few levels. And I wanted to save it off for mainly the middle because we're going to have juices that's going to start melting right away. Okay, so you've got it covered now, your first layer. You can pat it down a little bit. Kind of get everything smushed into play. Okay. Now we have second stage tortillas on there. Come back again. This time add a little bit of sauce. Now if you're making 3 layers, it doesn't have to be a lot in each layer. Okay. And some refried bean again. Just blop it in play. Okay, so this will be your last layer. There's 25 tortillas in a can. Take the rest of it. Try to cover everything at this point. All the corners. All right. So I used all that cheese, all the refries, pretty much everything I pulled out I've used. About half a can of olives. Try to get them, they don't have to be evenly dispersed, but try to cover the area. The olives aren't a really important part of it. Flavoring, yes, but looks is more so than anything in my book. All right, so that's almost ready, people. A few more things and we're done. So with the green onion, you can go a couple of routes. I like to clean all their end cuts from the store out of my way. And then I'll just take the green. Very small ringlets. I'll save this for some other cooking. Okay, sprinkle that on the top, wherever. Okay, and there's your enchilada casserole. I say after the fact, you definitely want to make sure you clean, run your sink water ahead of time so you can wash as you go. Sometimes you want to use your knife, but you don't want the old stuff on it you've just been cutting. All right, so end result, people. That's your end result. Enjoy it.